Hey, what's going on everybody? Commander Crane here, and we are back with another Pioneer deck tech. So today, we're going to be talking about $50 Gruul Dragons in Pioneer. This was a really fun list to build. I'm really excited to bring this to you. As always, before we hop into the video here, let me know in the comment section below at the end of the video, what do you think about the list? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change? And as always, if there's any suggestions that you have, just let me know in the comment section below, and I will definitely consider it for a future video. And before we hop into it here, just as of the recording of this video, we are at 190 subscribers. We are so close to our 200 threshold. At 200 subscribers, we are going to be giving away a deck, and it's actually going to be this deck that we're talking about today. So if you are interested in potentially winning this deck in a giveaway, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and you will know as soon as that video comes out. So that way you find out how to enter into the drawing and potentially win $50 Gruul Dragons. So, all right, $50 Gruul Dragons. Obviously, for those who watch the channel for a while, we love doing budget decks here. You know, we're trying to see if we can compete on a budget at our local F&M tournaments and things of that nature. So we're going to hop right into the deck here. So we've got our staple 1-drops, Llanowar and Elvish Mystic. They make mana. Nothing too crazy about them, but they're very, very essential for the deck. We are also playing 4 Bonecrusher Giants. It's the main reason we played is the Stomp. It's 1 and a red, instant damage can't be prevented this turn. Stomp deals 2 damage to any target. But we can also play a 4/3 for 3, and when it becomes a target of a spell, Bonecrusher Giant deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. Just a fantastic card to be playing in general, obviously. Really can't say enough good things about Bonecrusher Giant. I'm just a really, really big fan of the card. Obviously, you know, being able to remove a creature, and then also play a very efficient creature on the other side is fantastic. All right, so we are also playing 4 Kolaghan Warmonger. I decided to just kind of put the rest of our non-dragon creatures together. But anyways, so Kolaghan Warmonger, 3/2 for 2 and a red. New card from Aftermath. It also has haste when it attacks. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a dragon card from among them, put it in your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Obviously, it's great. Helps us dig for more dragons, which obviously is something we always want to be doing. Even in the late game, if we're trying to draw cards, you know, we can still even just attack it to try and put a dragon in our hand. Kolaghan Warmonger, really, really fantastic card and a great budget option for sure for the deck. Then we're playing 4 Draconic Roar. It's 1 and a red instant. As an additional cost to cast Draconic Roar, you may reveal a dragon card from your hand. Draconic Roar deals 3 damage to target creature. If you reveal the dragon card or control the dragon as you cast Draconic Roar deals 3 damage to that creature's controller. For those who have been playing Magic for a long time, it's kind of like a Searing Blaze, you know, through to a creature, through to an opponent. Draconic Roar is a very, very good removal spell. It never really feels like a terrible top deck, you know, even if you're in the late game, you have a dragon in play. Even if you can't kill anything, you can just deal 3 damage to a creature and 3 to the controller. Draconic Roar, very underrated card in the deck for sure. I would say it's our best removal spell by far. Then our only Planeswalker in the deck, we're playing 2 Domri, Anarch of Bolas, 3 loyalty for 1 red-green legendary Planeswalker Domri. Our creatures always get +1/+0. It's a nice anthem when it's in play. We can give it a loyalty to add a red or green mana. Creature spells you cast this turn can't be countered. And -2, target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. Domri, just a fantastic Planeswalker to be playing in the deck. Awesome on turn 2. Sometimes if we're really, really lucky, we can go Elf on 1, turn 2, Domri into another Elf, which is pretty fantastic most of the time. Domri, just a great card in general. It's just a very solid Planeswalker, very budget-friendly. Even on my non-budget decks, I love including Domri in general. Okay, so now the main part of why we're watching this, while you're watching this, we're going to hop into the dragons here. We're playing 2 Leyline Tyrant. It's a 4/4 for 2 red dragon with flying. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps and phases end. When Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any amount of red mana. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. So Leyline Tyrant is kind of like Omnath, Locus of Mana for those who play a lot of Commander and know what that card is. We can, you know, tap a bunch of red mana at the end of our opponent's turn, and it just keeps floating, which is pretty cool. And then obviously when it dies, you can pay any amount of red, and when you do, it deals that much damage to any target, which can definitely be a very good effect. You know, sometimes if we just keep floating all this red mana, our opponents can get in this really weird situation where we can just keep attacking with it, maybe they have to block it, maybe they have like a Cavalier of Thorns, but then if they block it, then we just pay a whole bunch of red mana and we just blast them with it. It definitely can put our opponent in a very bad situation. So that's kind of why I like the Leyline Tyrant, but I would say it's definitely not as good as our 4 Thunderbreak Regents. It's a 4/4 for 2 red, creature dragon with flying. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or an ability an opponent controls, Thunderbreak Regent deals 3 damage to that player. Thunderbreak Regent is a very, very underrated card. I feel like for those who don't play a lot of dragons, that 3 damage definitely stacks up over time. Obviously, if we play 2 Thunderbreak Regents, then that stacks, so our opponents can be taking 6 damage. Thunderbreak Regent, just absolutely fantastic card. I love Thunderbreak Regent. There's a reason why we are playing 4 Thunderbreaks. So, rounding out our dragons, we are playing 4 Glorybringer. It's a 4/4 for 3 red, dragon with flying and haste. You may exert Glorybringer as it attacks. When you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls, and exerting it means it's not going to untap during our next untap step. Glorybringer, I would say best card in the deck, best dragon in the format, in my opinion. Obviously, Glorybringer just does so much. It gets in, does a lot of damage, obviously can destroy creatures if we need to. Glorybringer, just an absolutely fantastic card. And even besides non-dragons, I would highly consider playing this in all of your other red decks in Pioneer. It's just that good. Then, rounding out our dragons, we're playing 4 Skargan Hellkite, which I'm assuming people kind of knew because of our nice background picture there, but it's a 4/4 for 3 red dragon with Riot. It enters the battlefield with your choice of a +1/+1 counter or haste. Has flying, then we can tap 3 in a red. Skargan Hellkite deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 1 or 2 targets. Activate this ability only if Skargan Hellkite has a +1/+1 counter on it. So, Skargan Hellkite, just a good dragon overall. It's very budget friendly, which is the main reason why we're playing it, as opposed to cards like Goldspin Dragon or Stormbreath Dragon. We can play it with haste, 4/4 flyer haste, which is pretty solid, maybe turn 3, turn 4. Or if we're on defense, or if we really need that pinging ability, we can have it enter with the 1/1 counter, so it doesn't have haste, but then it's a 5/5, and then we can start, pinging things for 4 mana. So Skargan Hellkite, really, really good card. Definitely, I would say by default, probably the worst of the 5 mana 4/4 flying haste dragons, but it doesn't matter. It's still a 4/4 flying haste dragon for 5, so it's still a fantastic card. So those are all of our main board cards, except for our lands we're going to talk about here. We're playing 4 Copperline Gorge, 4 Carplusion Force, and 3 Rockfall Vales. All really, really great budget lands in general. Kind of crazy to think that Copperline Gorge is in a budget deck, I mean, like a couple years ago, Copperline Gorges were going for like $25 in Modern, which is insane. So, but these are definitely the best budget lands we can be playing in the format overall. Then we are playing 2 Haven of the Spirit Dragons. Really, really good card because, we can tap 2 and tap it and sacrifice it to return a dragon from our graveyard to our hand, which is a really, really good effect to be playing in general. If our opponent's removing all of our dragons in the late game, or, grinding it out against them, we can return them back, get them back in play, and start attacking like we need them to do. Then as our spicy lands of the day, we are playing 5 forests and 6 mountains. These are from M19. I've always really, really liked a lot of the core set artwork for the basic lands, and I really like the forest, because it looks so realistic. And then the mountain is really cool. I could kind of, I could see some dragons hanging out definitely on this mountain for sure. The nice jagged peaks there and everything. Okay, so that is our entire main board. We are going to hop into the sideboard here. We are playing 3 Tormod Script 0 mana artifact. We can tap it to sacrifice it, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Obviously fantastic against decks that are playing a lot of graveyard shenanigans, like Arclight Phoenix decks. Grease Fang is really, really good against that too. Just anything that's dealing with the graveyard, we're going to use this and get rid of the graveyard. Then we're playing 3 Damping Spheres 2 mana artifact. If a land is tapped for 2 or more mana, it produces a colorless instead of any other type and amount. Each spell a player casts costs 1 more to cast for each other spell that player has cast this turn. TLDR, it stops Nykthos, it stops Lotus Combo, which is obviously fantastic, and then also stops decks that are trying to play a lot of spells in one turn, like again, Lotus Combo. You can bring it in against Arclight Phoenix. It's harder for them to bring back the actual Thunder Chickens to actually be able to, kill us, that kind of thing. So, Damping Sphere, fantastic card, and it's great for our budget deck. We're playing 3 Cindervines as well. It's a red and green enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Cindervines deals 1 damage to that player. Then we can tap 1 and sacrifice Cindervines, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Cindervines deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. Cindervines just a really underrated card in Gruul in general. Obviously, if our opponent's playing a lot of instant and sorceries or just non-creatures in general, we can bring in the Cindervines. But if they're also playing any problematic artifacts or enchantments, we can also bring it in. So Cindervines just a really good flexible card to be playing in the sideboard. Rounding out our sideboard, we have 2 Lithomantic Barrage, 1 red sorcery. This spell can't be countered. Lithomantic Barrage deals 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker. It deals 5 damage instead if that target is white and or blue. Lithomantic Barrage, just a really great card. Similar to Rending Volley from Khans of Tarkir, or Dragon, I think technically Dragons of Tarkir, dealing a lot of damage if it's a white or blue creature. But what's cool about Lithomantic Barrage is it is a sorcery, but it can also hit planeswalkers, but it can also deal the damage to a creature or planeswalker just in general, regardless of the color. So Lithomantic Barrage, fantastic card to be playing in the sideboard as well. Then we're playing 2 Cinderclasm. It's 1 and a red, instant with kicker, 1 red. Cinderclasm deals 1 damage to each creature. If it was kicked, it deals 2 damage to each creature instead. So pretty much only one reason we're playing the Cinderclasm, and that's against the Boros Convoke deck. But if our opponent is playing a lot of smaller creatures as well, we can bring it in. I think it's pretty good against humans, good against elves, that kind of thing, goblins. Any really small, low-to-the-ground creature deck, we're going to bring in the Cinderclasms. Then we're playing 2 Rebel Salvo, 2 and a red, instant affinity for equipment. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each equipment you control. Rebel Salvo deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. That permanent loses indestructible until end of turn. The TLDR is we are bringing this in for Shieldred, pretty much. Obviously, in matchups where we want more removal, Rebel Salvo is still perfectly great to bring in, but that's pretty much the main reason we're playing the Rebel Salvos. We just want to get rid of those pesky Shieldreds because turns out Shieldred's a really good card, and it's kind of hard for us to beat in the main board without having to, Exert with the Glorybringer and Draconic Roar, or Double Draconic Roar, or Stomp Draconic Roar. It's really hard for us to get rid of Shieldred, so we need a little bit of help, and that's why we're playing the Rebel Salvos. So, that is our entire deck overall. Once again, like I said at the beginning, if you're interested in entering in the contest to be able to win this, we need to get to 200 subscribers, so if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It's a huge help for the channel. Obviously, we'll make a big announcement once we get to the 200 subscribers, kind of talk about what's going to be happening for that. But if you're interested in also checking out the deck list is in the description below. Let me know in the comment section below if you do end up deciding to purchase the deck overall. I think it's really fun. I'm definitely going to build this for my next FNM. It just looks really fun to play. I don't get to play Skargan Hellkite a lot, and I definitely am always looking for excuses to be able to play it. So, I'm Commander Crane. Thank you for checking out this episode of $50 Gruul Dragons Aggro for Pioneer, and I will catch you in the next one.